Hello everyone and welcome back to their Teamfight Tactics Guide. We have a new patch, a new set, and a lot to learn in Rise of the Elements. It's finally upon us and this patch is live, and I'm sure like many others out there, you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed with how many new units are in the game now and what works best. So don't fret, today we're gonna go over the 5 best comps in TFT 9.22. Luckily, the PBE was up for such a long time, it was several weeks, that we've had a long time to play on 9.22 before it actually comes out. So today we're gonna go over all the builds that are working really well right now. Now, I want to thank today's video sponsor, Razer, for sending me out one of their new Viper mice. They've been hooking it up, and I'm gonna go ahead and open it up so you can see what's inside. But before we jump into this, I wanna let you know you can pick this up by the link down in the description or down in the comment section as well, and I highly recommend you pick up this mouse. It actually came in this kind of like tissue paper wrapping, so I guess that's, you know, if it brings you to tears, you have something to wipe your eyes with. Now, mice are really important for a lot of games, most specifically FPS games. Ooh, look how pretty. So it's got like that nice sheen to it. All right, let's open this baby up. I'm pretty excited. Wait, hold on. What is that? Do you guys see that? What is that? By Zeus's beard. Oh wait, hold on. Under the Viper, there's an actual Viper in here. Let's pull this baby out. All right, so here we are. So this is it right here. So you can actually see it. This is actually probably my favorite style of shape, because I don't like the really big ones that you have to kind of grab. So I like this kind of small form. This one's actually really, really dope. All right, let's hook this baby up and see what it looks like. Great about the Razer Viper is it actually has its own proprietary Razer optical mouse switches, which are about 3 times faster than your average mechanical switches. So it reacts much faster to what you're trying to do. It's super lightweight, and it's actually ambidextrous as well, so you can use it with either hand without having to worry. One of my favorite aspects is the cable as well. Being a streamer and a YouTube content creator, I have cables and machines all over my desk, so it's nice to have this very lightweight flex cable that slides across the desk very easily and doesn't get caught on anything. And for the competitive gamers out there, especially with Modern Warfare just coming out, it has up to 50 DPI different settings. You can control exactly what your DPI and sensitivity combo ratio is and get the exact right motion for you. And that is the Razer Viper. I want to thank Razer and Kairos for hooking me up with this mouse. I'm gonna use this for gaming as it has a lot of DPI settings and it fits my hand perfectly. And it also comes with this great Viper pet, right? A bit of a reminder as we go through these builds, the element that spawns on the map will greatly influence how you position your units, and sometimes it's okay to not get the buff if you feel like you don't need it. Sometimes players are skipping mountain or skipping out on ocean if they feel like they don't need the mana at the start. Positioning is the most important thing you can do, so don't let your squishies die to assassins, don't let your enemy stack up berserkers and blow away your whole front line. Make sure you're positioning properly, but as always, I will be including basic positionings that you can use to get you started during your game. Build number 1 is Shadow Summoners. We've seen a lot of the units do as much as they can over the PBE, and Malzahar has become one of the favorite units for pure damage output. There's actually some builds that run mage item conversion on him, so he spawns 2 units at once, which is really strong, but Shadow Summoners takes over one of my favorite synergies in the game, Shadow, which gives every Shadow unit double damage at the start of the round, and then that buff refreshes if any of the Shadow units get a takedown. So this is really powerful. In this build, you're going to want 3 Summoner with Zed, Malzahar, and Yorick. Yorick gives you some really great tankiness because he's able to revive your units when they die, keeping your front line alive, so you want to make sure he's actually getting hit first, so he's able to get that ability off. You'll get the Cloud bonus with Yasuo and Janna in your build. This gives you some great dodge chance and is able to be very flexible towards the late stage of the game when auto attacks are really important. You'll also get the Blademaster bonus by including Master Yi in here, and he's one of the Shadow units that you're going to need as well, and that works off the Yasuo for Blademaster bonus. And then you get the 2 Mystic with Yasuo and Janna, which give you magic resistance. Most builds will want to have at least 2 Mystics in them. Some don't because they're sacrificing it for something else, but in general, you do want that Mystic buff. And then your 4 Shadow units are going to be Scion, Master Yi, Kindred, and Malzahar. This gives you the 4 Shadow bonus, and it's incredibly effective. Essentially, Master Yi is going to keep himself alive with his self-heal, Yorick makes sure everyone survives, Sion is just the tankiest Shadow unit you can get because really you don't need anything else in this build, you just need someone to fill that Shadow spot, and Sion's the best choice for it. Kindred does tons of damage and works in lots of builds, so I recommend picking her up as soon as she's available in the beginning of the game. A Seraph's Embrace works great on Kindred for items. This gives her a lot of mobility, but also allows her to apply her debuff, which reduces healing and deals damage as well. You want a lot of scaling on Malzahar, as him and his pets will deal lots of damage, and one thing you may not know about 9.22 for set 2 Rise of the Elements is Morellonomicon works for summoned units. So if you put a Morellonomicon on Malzahar, his units will then apply that debuff when they attack someone. Then generally add casting items like Rage Blade, Seraph's Embrace. You can even put a Shojin's on Malzahar as well to make sure that he casts those pets as much as possible, because they became great applications for the Morellonomicon, but they also give you good frontline and distractions for the units that you have alive. Deathblade works great on Master Yi. He tends to last a long time with his self-heal, and then you can put items like Dragon's Tooth or even just offensive items on top of him. Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, all these items work great. And that's it for the build. For positioning, you want to keep your squishies safe in the back. This is going to be your Janna, your Kindred, and your Malzahar. Zed you want to put in position so he'll jump across the enemy team. He'll do some good damage in the back line. And then for front line, you can either bunch all 4 of your front line up together if you feel like they have a strong front line. You don't want any particular unit to get hard focused, or you can spread them out like I have depicted here, which gives you some good defense. Build number 2 is Hyper Roll Light, and this one is a risky one to run, but works awesome if you're able to pull it off. The basis of this build is to hyper roll at low levels to get Vayne, Nasus, and Jax to high level as fast as possible, preferably 3-star, so that you're able to go straight into a 6 or 9 light build. What I have depicted is probably the most powerful of those, in that you get a Lux that is cloud-based with a Janna and a Yasuo, which gives you 4 cloud and a 30% global dodge chance. If you can't get the Lux in cloud, you can actually get a light Lux and go for a 9 light if you'd like, but this one I think is a little bit more stable. You're gonna get your 6 light units with Jax, Aatrox, Vayne, Yorick, Nasus, and then you want to get a conversion light item and preferably put that on the Yasuo. Again, you're going to see the Yasuo and the Janna giving you the cloud bonus for the dodge, which is just really good. The Lux will give you 4, which gives you even more dodge bonus. And then with the Yasuo and the Aatrox, you do get the 2 Blademaster bonus as well. This one's very straightforward, and if you've ever hyper-rolled before, you already know how to do it, but what you're looking for is staying low level around level 5 or 6 and trying to roll as much as you can to get Vayne and Nasus to 3-star. Even getting Aatrox to 3-star can make you win the game for the rest of the match. It's risky, but if you don't see anyone else going light, this build can kick a lot of butt. For items, you'll need the light conversion item on Yasuo to get you the 6 light or 9 light, depending on which one you pick up. Aatrox still works as he did in set 1, as he works really well with a GA and a Hextech Gunblade. You can even get a Death Cap or any extra bonus items on him like that. And then Vayne's going to be your backline hyper carry. Still works awesome with a Rage Blade and a Giant Slayer. And the third item's a bit of a flex. You can look for potentially a Runon's Hurricane to get extra damage across everyone, which also procs the Giant Slayer, by the way. Or you can also get a Rapid Fire Cannon that keeps her away from the enemy team and doesn't make her move around, so she's not getting caught in AoEs. But there's not as many AoEs as there was in set 1. Build number 3 is Shadow Blademasters, and is a crazy item dependent but very powerful build to run. The build here relies on 4 Blademaster plus the Desert bonus, making Sivir and Master Yi kill everyone everywhere. You will need a Blade of the Ruined King to give you the 4 Blademaster bonus, making Sivir and Master Yi stronger. It will benefit Yasuo as well, though he's nowhere near as strong of a damage dealer as Sivir or Master Yi are. The Blade of the Ruined King works great on Kindred, who will also be giving you the 4 Shadow bonus. Your 4 Shadow units are going to be Master Yi, Sion, Kindred, and Malzahar, which will give you that crazy double damage bonus at the start of the round and when Shadow units get a takedown. The 2 Cloud, again, we're going to see this again with Yasuo Yasuo and Janna. This keeps you alive. Janna's great with a knockback and a heal. Yasuo also targets hyper carries that have a lot of items on them, and it gives you the dodge bonus, which is awesome. We throw in a Kha'Zix here to give the 2 desert bonus to Sivir, which reduces enemy armor, which helps a lot in auto attack builds. Don't overlook desert if you're looking for auto attack builds. And then you get the 2 mystic bonus again with Janna and Master Yi. You're probably gonna see a lot of similarities between these on the core units that work really well. It's the same as last set where we had Sejuani or Gnar or Cho'Gath being your Teamfight ultimate characters. Putting in the Yasuo, Master Yi, and Janna gives you great CC, gives you self recovery, it gives you dodge chance, and it gives you lots of healing as well. There's a lot of great things that go into it, and the 2 mystic bonus gives you magic resistance across your team as well. For items, again, you're gonna want the Blade of the Ruined King on the Kindred. You want the Seraph's Embrace for Kindred as well, if you can swing it, though it's not necessarily for the build. And then for Sivir, I actually love running Hushes and Sword Breakers this meta because there's less CC overall, so being able to hush someone or disarm them is still incredibly powerful. And with Sivir being able to hit the entire enemy team, the on-hit debuffs work great. So a Runons and a Disarm with the Swordbreaker works great for Sivir. You can also put in hypercarry items like Rage Blade, RFC, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster. All these work great for her. In fact, I'd recommend getting at least a lifesteal item on Sivir if you can. Same items for Master Yi here. The Death Edge works great because, again, he will probably be one of the last few to die with his self-heal active. And then a Rage Blade, Declaw, even a Warmogs works really well on him on top of that. The number 4 build is a build that is probably one of my favorites in the meta right now. And it's one that, if it's fully completed, is really difficult to stop. That's going to be the Poison Glacial build. This actually gets you to 6 Glacial, which gives you a crazy stun chance. And with Olaf getting incredible attack speed and getting in your face with anti-CC immunity on him, it makes it so he will stun lock people a lot. Same goes for getting the Glacial bonus on the Twitch. So there's a lot of things that make this build work, so let's jump into that. You're going to want to put in 6 Glacial with your Braum, Volibear, Olaf, Ezreal, and Warwick, and then you want to get a Glacial Frozen Mallet for the Glacial conversion, and this is best used on Twitch. So Twitch's ability, when he activates it, his hits will travel through targets and apply on hit to everyone they strike. So this works great with red buff or any on hits you have, but also because if you make him a Glacial, he will stun anyone that gets hit by his piercing arrows. So if you put the Glacial conversion on him, plus a red buff, plus a Runans, he will be applying poison and Glacial to almost the entire enemy team. It's pretty dang terrifying. We put in the Ezreal for the Glacial, but this also gives us the 2 Ranger bonus with Twitch, which gives them both attack speed bonuses. And then lastly, we put in the Alchemist Poison Master himself, Singed. Singed is an awesome unit that will constantly run around the map, soaking up damage, applying damage, and if you put a Morellonomicon on him, he will be applying an anti-heal dot to everyone in the enemy team as well. Like I mentioned, this build is really hard to stop once it's fully complete because you'll have tons of hard lock perma CC from the Glacial proc, especially once Olaf ults, and you'll be able to deal damage to the enemy team and disarm them and disable them throughout the entire match. Placement wise, you want to put Braum up front. Singed can kind of go anywhere, but I like putting up front as well. And then you can put the Berserkers on the side wing since they'll jump. So Olaf, Volibear, and Dr. Mundo will be able to jump forward if you place them on the wings here to protect your squishies. And then you'll also get the poison bonus by having Dr. Mundo, Twitch, and Singed, which is great against caster builds. In fact, if you work in a Hush in this build on either Olaf or Twitch, you can get a lot of shutdowns for some of the builds we mentioned, like Shadow Summoners. Summoner builds get shut down really hard by Hush and Poison because it prevents them from being able to get their spells out. Items wise, we kind of went over already, but we want some lifesteal on the Olaf with a Bloodthirster. A Hush or a Swordbreaker works great. The Morellonomicon is really great on the Singed, and then you're putting all your other items onto the Twitch. You will need the Frozen Mallet for the Frozen conversion or the Glacial conversion, and then other items are great for on hit like red buff. You can use Swordbreaker or Hush. Runans also works great because it'll apply the on hit on top of it, and you put all this together and you got a crazy high CC, high damage output build. Build number 5 is Light Summoners. This build is really not a hyper roll build, but it does require to have a light conversion item. Yorick and Light and Summoner all go really well together because the light benefits from units dying. Yorick also benefits from units dying, and you'll get tons of units on the board as well. Your 3 summoners are going to be Azir, Zed, and Yorick. This will give you the extra unit spawning, HP, and duration. Then you'll put in the 2 Blademasters with Aatrox and Sivir, which gives you extra damage on the Sivir, which again is a great carry unit to have. Your 6 light are going to be Jax, Aatrox, Yorick, Nasus, Vayne, and then you want to put a light conversion on the Zed if you're able to pick it up. This gives you the 6 light bonus, which gives you attack speed, and then the light units will heal every time one of them dies. The Sivir and the Azir give you the desert bonus, and generally anytime you want Sivir, you do want to have desert on her as well, because she'll apply the armor shred to everyone that she shoots with her bouncing blades. It's just a great synergy. For items, you'll want the GA on Zed because he tends to die pretty easily, but once he comes back, he will usually wreak a lot of havoc. Redemption works great as well. You can put it on the Zed. You can also put it on the Yorick if you want. He generally will die early on in the game if you position him really far up, which you want to. And then you'll want to put carry items on the Vayne yet again. Rage Blade, Giant Slayer, and then a flex damage item like an RFC or a Runon's Hurricane, or maybe even defensive item if you need. Any on-hit items work great for Sivir, so Red Buff, Swordbreaker, Hush, all these items are awesome for someone that hits so many units with her auto attacks. And then positioning-wise, you want to put your tanky units up front, Zed in the back so he jumps over the enemy team and positions himself properly, and then just make sure that you're protecting your Azir, Vayne, and Sivir, and that is the whole build. That does it for the top 5 builds in 9.22. Again, this meta didn't change too much since we had so much time to practice on the PvE over the last few weeks, but we'll see what happens now that more players are playing it and people can actually play ranked, because generally on the PvE it's more normal queues because they go faster. So as the ranked queues start going up and we see challenger players picking up these builds, we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and again, if you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button down below. It actually does fun things with the YouTube algorithm, which puts this video in front of more people so they can get helped by this information as well. If you were helped by this, be sure to help other people find this video so they can know what's good in 9.22. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next one.